On this episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, you got your boy Lydell Dinero back in the building, back with a lot more topics for you, back with all the pop culture you need. It's Friday. Yeah, it is Friday. So you don't know you you don't know what to expect yet, but I hope this brightens your day. Hope you listen. No. On this episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, you got me, your boy Lydell Dinero, talking some pop culture topics. NBA is in full swing with the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Round one is ending, round twos are starting. So got a lot to talk about there. Got some little bit of pop culture to talk about. Well, this is all pop culture, but a little bit of pop culture news, and then we're gonna jump in the cinema corner where we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So loaded episode today. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. You know how I usually try to do it, keep it to like an hour. I be shooting for 45, and I always end up with an hour. I don't know how it happens, but a lot to talk about on this podcast. I'm not gonna waste your time. Happy Friday. Made it through April. It's almost May. The sun's out. This heat is changing. I mean, you already see me kind of sweating right now. So yeah, enjoy the weather. Happy Friday. It's the Best of Bias podcast, your favorite podcast, the hottest podcast of the summer. Let's get right into it. Where my theme song at? Yeah. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's another episode of the Best of Bias podcast, where we take all the bias, we bring it to the table. No matter what you want to talk about in pop culture sphere, we're going to talk about it. You want to talk about some history, we're going to talk about it. You want to talk about some music, we're going to talk about it. You want to talk about some movies, anime, comics. What else we got out there? That's some sports, of course. Like we got it all. We bring it to the table. Today's a sports heavy episode because we do have a lot of stuff happening in the NFL, in the NBA with the playoffs and the NFL draft actually being today. I'm recording on Thursday, so that's actually happening right now. And I want to update you on excuse me, some of the cinema stuff that I'm watching. Not too many show reviews, but a lot of trailers dropped. So I want to talk about some trailers that are coming and just let you know what I'm watching. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's not delay anymore. So let's talk about this NBA playoffs right now, man. A lot of shit is going down. A lot of shit is going down. A lot of stuff we didn't expect at all. You know what I mean? It's like we have a first seed losing to an 8 seed. We have the Celtics series. The Hawks are giving the Celtics all they can have. I mean, all they can take, trying to extend the series. The Lakers lose. Let me not get ahead of myself. Let's start in the Eastern Conference with the one-seeded Bucks, who actually have been defeated by the Miami Heat and Timothy Butler, who's been balling out last two games, 55 and 42 points. Man, Giannis's injury actually showed that the Bucks needed him more than it met the eye. Everybody thought that the Bucks would be able to win and still stay afloat with Giannis being out, just because the team was so deep and they did so well this year, even when Giannis was out, and they were able to sustain the best record of the in the league. But it didn't seem so. I mean, Jimmy Butler and 6 undrafted players that were playing for the Miami Heat were able to take out the 1 seed, which was really crazy to me. I mean, games 1. I think the Heat won. Game 2, I think the Heat won again, and then the game 3, the Bucks were actually able to get it in and win a game. But they ended up getting beat 4-1. It was crazy. Jimmy Butler just, playoff Jimmy's on a different level. Everybody really suspected the Bucks to win this series. I don't know. Giannis doesn't think the season's a failure, but doing all the work that they did to get that 1 seed and sustain the 1 seed all season, yeah, I think that can be considered a failure. Sorry, you guys. I'm kind of simultaneously watching the draft. I'm gonna keep you guys a little updated on that as well as we go. But man, ooh, the Chargers got a receiver, one of the best receivers in the draft to add to their arsenal. Good Lord. But yeah, Jimmy Butler and the Bucks. I mean, Jimmy Butler and the Heat are moving on to play the winner of actually not the winner, because this next series that I'm actually going to talk about, there's not really much to talk about in the Bucks and Heat series because the Heat actually had control pretty much the whole series. We just thought when Giannis came back from that back injury, he would be able to right the ship and make the Bucks, come through and win. But it didn't happen. Again, Jimmy Butler self-handedly the last 2 games were able to close out the Bucks and not let them get hold of the series when Giannis came back. Congratulations to the Heat. They actually move on to play the Knicks because the Knicks were able to close out the Cavs 4-1. It's kind of crazy to me because the Cavs were the 4th seed the whole season, not really the whole season, but majority of the season, especially ending the season. And with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and some of the upcoming bigs they have, Jared Allen, Mobley, we thought that they're actually going to be able to make noise in the playoffs. But the young Knicks were able to sustain, and a lot of the players that you really didn't suspect to show up in the playoffs actually came through. The Josh Harts of the world, the Obi Toppins of the world. There was a Mitchell Robinson sighting. Not Jimmy. What's his name? Why is it drawing? Am I drawing a blank now? Um, Jalen Brunson actually did his thing whole season. That's not who I was talking about. But other bruh, oh, Julius Randle. Julius Randle hurt his ankle before the series, so he wasn't actually that much of a factor in this whole series. So we actually saw the emergence of Jalen Brunson, and I know all Mavs fans are out there kicking themselves for actually letting him go because he actually proven to be a great piece for the Knicks. Some Knicks players are calling him the best point guard they've ever had. Some Knicks fans, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how many point guards they've had, and I don't really know the levels of them because I'm not a Knicks fan. But if you're going to sit there and say Jalen Brunson is the best that they had, I mean, that's something special. He is carrying them to the next round to actually face the Heat, who they expected to be playing the Bucks. So I know they're relieved to actually be playing the Heat, and only really having to deal with Jimmy Butler. I mean, Bam Adebayo is on the team still. But he didn't really show much in the first series. I know the Cavs have a couple of big men that can kind of neutralize his effectiveness. But shoot, I mean, I expected a lot more from him, especially when Victor Oladipo and Tyler Hero got hurt. So that was interesting to me. But a series between them two, it's gonna be interesting. I don't really know who I got yet, but if I was to say somebody, I think the experience of Jimmy Butler, and plus he's been to the finals a couple of years ago. So I think that experience and that grit that he has in the playoffs, I think will overweigh the young Knicks that are trying to make a push and kind of put New York back on the map. I think it's the first time they've made it out of the first round of the playoffs for a while. I think a good amount of years. So I don't want to say in the 60s, but I want to say like 2016 or something, 2000s. Nah, some early like that. I forgot exactly the date, but it's been a while. So congratulations to the Knicks. It's really interesting to see them in the Heat instead of the Bucks and the Cavs, like everybody kind of expected. But interesting series that's going to be. And then we have Philly, of course, that still has been sitting there resting after sweeping the Brooklyn Nets 4-0. So they've been sitting there, and Embiid is dealing with like a knee sprain or something like that. So the Sixers are trying to get all the rest they can get and kind of try to ensure that he's ready for the next round, who we don't know who they're going to play yet because this next round here, Boston is still letting Atlanta stay alive and have life. The Hawks were able to stay alive when they're down 3-1 back in Boston. Ice Tray making logo threes to keep them in the game. We're able to get a win out there and make it 3-2 going back to Atlanta for game 6. And right now, it was pretty tight, like pretty close going into the fourth quarter of this game. So it's going to be interesting to see if Atlanta's actually going to steal this game and actually take the take the Boston Celtics back to Boston for a game 7 and have the Sixers resting all this time because, man, one, if Atlanta wins, that's going to be so fortunate for the Sixers. And then for the Celtics, if they let the Atlanta Hawks come back and beat them this many times after being like the second favorite or not, if not the favorite, in the East all season, it's going to be another embarrassment for the Eastern Conference because all the top seeds are actually, except for the Philadelphia Sixers, are kind of getting all they can handle from their lower seeds that they're playing. So I don't know. There's a lot been saying about Trae Young's future in Atlanta. They're saying that he's causing a lot of tumultuous tension between the coach and the fan base and stuff like that. They're saying that Trae may be traded, but I don't know. He's kind of just showing in the playoffs how valuable he is. He might not be a great defender, but I don't know. I feel like team camaraderie is kind of more important sometimes than having the best players on your team. Ride with the team you're with for a little bit and see what you guys can do. Grow together. DeJounte Murray just got there, so a couple of years together, I think they'll make a good tandem and actually be able to make some solid noise. And again, let me check right now because they could have won for all I know. I'm gonna check that score. Boom, 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 boom. No, yeah, the Celtics took off on them. It was like, yeah, enough of that. They're winning 124-116. So I think the Celtics are going to close this one out. But yeah, so it'll be Boston versus Philly. A good series. They've been kind of, really competitive all season in the regular season. So this is going to be a heated series. I mean, and once we get to the West, we have to get to the West. These series are going to be kind of great too. But yeah, I would pick Boston in the Philly series though if they do end up playing Philly. But in the West, Denver finally took out Minnesota, winning the series 4-1. I'm just happy that we're not playing them no more because the matchup of him, Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, two tall ass people at the 4 and 5, and having to guard them and then having to worry about two guys just sitting on the corner for three. I think this matchup, we're playing the Suns next round because they just beat the Clippers, and I'll get into that in a second. I think it's an easier matchup for us in a way, just because we don't have to put Aaron Gordon or Rudy Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns while Jokic guards the other big and gets everybody in a foul trouble so easy. I mean, I know Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they're not going to be any easy task, but I feel like the size that Gobert and Karl Anthony had when they played in like a lineup together was just a lot for our smaller defenders and for our game plan. So I feel like the next round should be better. We saw a little bit of this last game, Jokic had a terrible game. Maybe not the last game. I forgot which game it was, but I think it was last game. He went like 8 for 29. He's been dealing with a bad wrist and just happened to bang with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns and just a whole bunch of nonsense that are being thrown at him during this series. I think in the next series it's going to be kind of cool. DeAndre Ayton is a good player, but I don't think he's going to be able to, stand up against Jokic. And I don't think they have a backup. I think their backup is Dario Saric or something, their backup center. And I know Kevin Durant's not going to guard him. Oh, it's Bismack Biyombo. So, whatever ways you want to get y'all fouls, let's get it. I hope there's not a bunch of favoritism because the Suns are favored to win the West. But I just want an even shot. You know what I mean? I just want an even shot. But yeah, I'm really excited. The Nuggets are moving on to round 2, fully healthy team. Jamal's getting better and better each game. Jokic is being nice and steady, doing what he needs to do in the first round. Aaron Gordon's doing a great job. Of course, he was guarding Rudy Gobert all last series so for him not to do that, this series is going to be great for him. And just the other pieces, Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, KCP, all just doing good things on defense and just making shots when they're called upon to do so. So I feel like hopefully our depth shows in this next series and help us get through. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards more so showed out in the series versus us. So I'm just kind of showing love to him and making sure that he recognizes he got a bright future, like 21, 22 years old, dropping 30 and 40, just balling out, carrying his team. Karl Anthony Towns didn't really have the best series. So the future is bright for the Minnesota Timberwolves as long as they keep Anthony Edwards and don't trade him, because that's a franchise piece right there, and he did great. But moving on to the Suns versus the Clippers, Suns were able to close out the Clippers 4-1. The series was not really competitive at all, just kind of due to injuries. Paul George didn't play the whole series. And Kawhi Leonard basically was with Russell Westbrook trying to, hold the team together against the backups. They were able to get a win out of it, in Phoenix. But I guess the overexertion of Kawhi Leonard, he tore his meniscus, so he wasn't able to play the last 2 games that were actually deciding for the Clippers, because they went 1-1 in Phoenix. And then when he didn't play at all, the next 2 games, Phoenix was able to win both games in LA. And then when it went back to Phoenix, he didn't play that game either. So he missed 3 games total. Paul George missed the whole series. So it's pretty much Russell Westbrook in company versus everybody else on that loaded team on Philadelphia or on Phoenix. Chris Paul had an easy time. Devin Booker was scoring at will, probably averaged like 37 that whole series. Kevin Durant was able to get to the free throw line, get a shot at any point. They just didn't have enough firepower because each game was pretty close with the Suns at a certain point. It's just that at a certain point, it's like, okay, we got KD over here. We got Devin Booker that can get a bucket no matter what. So any lapses that Phoenix's defense shows, they can easily score and it's changed the temperature. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a weird thing over there in Phoenix. They have good firepower on offense, but once their starters and stuff come off the bench, it's going to be interesting to see, especially with a true big coming at them. They didn't really have a skilled. They had Zubats playing against them and Miles Plumlee having their way against them. So just imagine if they had Jokic out there doing his thing. So I'm feeling good about this series. Of course, I'm going to pick the Nuggets to win this series. But yeah, man, it's just interesting. Kawhi Leonard's, when you need him, I mean, I'm not going to say he's not reliable, but the fact that he doesn't play that much is just kind of crazy. And he's really, really injury prone. Stephen A was on First Take talking about that they should force him to retire because they gave him all that money to go out there and play, and he's not actually playing or anything. So Yeah, it's interesting to me. It's gonna be an interesting series. I don't really think the Suns were able to get the warm up and experience they needed to welcome to the playoffs because they played a depleted team that was on their last leg and playing out of desperation. So I feel like with yeah, with them playing a fully loaded roster that's ready to play and as deep as the Nuggets are, I think it's gonna be making some trouble for them boys. Next, of course, we have Sacramento and Golden State. Golden State was actually to win one, steal the game in Sacramento to go up 3-2 in the series. After Game 4 in Golden State, De'Aaron Fox, I guess, broke his middle finger. So everybody thought that his play was in jeopardy and he wasn't going to play in Sacramento due to the injury. Um, but he did end up playing. He did score 25 points, but he wasn't the De'Aaron Fox of usual just because he couldn't really do what he wanted to do with his hand because every time he went in the lane, they were slapping at his hands as they should because, it's football and, you got to use that advantage when you have it. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm looking kind of haggard right now, bro. I'm wearing the Champa shirt, Champa Bay and then lights of the draft right now. But yeah. Um, yeah, man, the Warriors are able to win a away game, even though they've had a terrible record of winning away games during the regular season. They're able to steal a win in Sacramento. That playoff experience actually showed and shined through. And it's going back to the Chase Center for Game 6. So the Warriors are usually really good in the Chase Center. The Kings are on their last leg, so I don't know if the desperation is going to help the Kings maybe steal one in the Chase Center, but it's going to be a tough task because Chase, again, the Warriors are really good there. The crowd is crazy. And that playoff experience, man, they have a team where they want them, and closing out a team is not, hard for them to do. They've done it before and they're used to it. So that's gonna be crazy. And if they advance, this next series has potential to be kind of crazy either way it goes, just because we're talking about Memphis and the Lakers. Memphis was able to win a game at home to take the series to 3-2 and avoid elimination. So they're going back to LA for Game 6. If the Lakers win, they advance to play the Warriors, which would be a great storyline. LeBron versus Steph Curry again, the Warriors versus Lakers, California. That'll be kind of a great storyline. But then if the Grizzlies are able to win in LA and take it back to Memphis and they actually win Game 7, a matchup against Dylan Brooks and the Warriors and that rivalry, and a matchup I think that happened last year in the playoffs, would come back and we'll see they have a little mini rivalry over there. Well, Draymond says it's not a rivalry because they haven't won no championships, but yeah, either way it goes, if the Warriors win, they're going to get somebody that, that's kind of a rival in a way, and it's going to be a good series. There'll be Suns, Denver, and potentially Lakers, Warriors. Or Warriors and Grizzlies. I don't know. I personally don't really give the Suns a chance anymore since they lost in Sacramento. But who knows, man? They've been playing great all season. Again, I haven't watched hella Sacramento games, so they could pull one out in LA and then go ahead and in Chase Center and go ahead and win at home because the Warriors are at a disadvantage in away games. So who knows what's going to happen? Friday's going to tell it all, or today's going to tell it all. If you already watched the games, you already know what happened. But if you listen to this in the morning, I know you're probably looking forward to it. So yeah, and that's basketball, man. That's first round going into second round. A lot of shit's going down. A lot of storylines are going down. The Draymond stomp, he's back. His first game in Sacramento since the stomp went pretty smooth. Nothing really, happened from it. The Warriors did actually stole a win in Sacramento. So I guess that's the sweetest victory overall. And yeah, again, it has the makings for a crazy series in the second round. Heat still in that series from the Bucks. So it's gonna be Heat, Knicks. I got the Heat in that series, and then Philly's gonna play Boston. Probably I got Boston in that series, and then Sacramento. Still a first round predictions here. I think Sacramento may get closed down the Chase Center, and then Lakers I think will win in a Game 7. So Lakers versus Golden State, in which I will say probably. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting series. I'll make that prediction if I see who actually plays. You know what I'm saying? Because that one it can go either way. Moving on to the NFL. Let's talk here about some NFL here. Aaron Rodgers officially traded to the Jets. I know everybody heard about that. The Jets trade the 13th pick, the 42nd overall pick, the 207th overall pick, a second rounder in 2024 that could be a first rounder if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the plays. Jets gets Aaron Rodgers. They get pick 15 and pick 170. Their picks have already kind of been made in the draft already. I would review them, but I don't remember by heart because it's actually still going on. So maybe I'll do another episode a little bit down the line and kind of review the draft and talk about the draft a little bit because I'm gonna start working from home. I'm gonna be a lot closer to the computer and a lot closer to making this content for y'all. So it's gonna be great. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. They already signed his homie Alan Lazard. They have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. They drafted a lineman. Did they draft a lineman? I don't think they drafted a lineman. I think they drafted an outside linebacker. The defense is already pretty good too with Sauce Gardner and everybody they have on the defensive line, Quentin Williams and stuff like that. So we'll see what Aaron Rodgers can turn them into. The division's already kind of heavy with the Bills. The Bills kind of been blowing it the last couple of years once they had the opportunity to win some games. So Aaron Rodgers may come in there and just show them who's boss. But the AFC is loaded with quarterbacks, and to get that first round bye in there is going to be pretty tough for A. Rodgers. But maybe you don't need the bye. Maybe you can just ball out against anybody, and he can just show everybody that this trade does matter. I still matter, and all that shit you guys were talking about me in the offseason. You're going to see who's the boss. Back-to-back MVP ass guy right there. Lamar Jackson's new deal. He took a while. Everybody thought Lamar Jackson was going to get traded and all that, but nah, the boy signed. He just stayed quiet, stayed patient. Then the Baltimore Ravens know what they had in Lamar Jackson. They weren't going to let him go. They were just waiting. They saw Jalen Hurts' deal come out. I forgot exactly the numbers. I think it was maybe like 255 million. But right before the draft, after signing Odell Beckham, the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson agree on a deal. 5 years, 260 million, 185 guaranteed, 52 million per year, making him the highest paid player in NFL history, which is what he wanted, man. And it's time to play ball. They just drafted Zay Flowers. Ooh, Jordan Addison. Okay. Jordan Addison just went to the Vikings to add to Thielen and Justin Jefferson. So they're going to have a receiving core over there. But I heard they're going to trade Dalvin Cook. So that's going to be kind of interesting. But yeah, Lamar Jackson being back, I know that it's encouraging for the Baltimore fans. Bateman's a pretty good receiver out there. They got Odell Beckham, just drafted Zay Flowers, like I said. So their offensive line is pretty strong. Defense has been pretty strong. They signed I'm just cussing, my bad. The linebacker from the Bears, they signed him to a long-term deal too. His name's slipping my mind, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So they're ready to make a run. Each year they've been derailed by injuries, whether it be to their running backs and their cornerback core or to Lamar Jackson himself. So if they can keep it together and give Lamar Jackson somebody to throw to besides Mark Andrews, I think they can make some noise, and that's what they've been waiting for. And I think that's what Lamar Jackson was wanting, just for the team to trust him and for Baltimore to show that they want him to play. He's young. He's like 23, 24 years old still, already won an MVP. I mean, he's doing things a lot of quarterbacks can. He's like, the next version of Michael Vick that has a rocket arm and that can learn more and can be, I don't know if he's going to become converted into a pocket quarterback or anything like that. But, he has a lot of room to grow, and I think this money just shows that they believe in him, and I'm sure you want to get in there and work right away and get ready to go with him and Odell and Zay Flop. Man, it's going to be crazy. But congratulations. People thought he wouldn't be able to do it because he didn't have an agent. But hey, man, all that shit, all that loud talking in the background, they just shut it out. And he did what he needed to do. His mom was his agent. You know what I'm saying? So don't tell nobody it ain't possible, because Lamar Jackson, I went out there, believed in himself, negotiated for himself, and actually got what he wanted. So yeah, man, boys and girls out there, you know what I'm saying? Know your worth. And don't let nobody tell you that you worth something you don't think you worth. Just let them know what you think you worth and negotiate your stuff, and you'll get it. If the talent shows and your work ethic is on point, like Lamar Jackson's was, that they'll come around and they'll see what they'll be missing if they didn't sign you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lesson learned there. NFL draft, so far has been some crazy stuff going on. First round was littered with stuff I didn't really expect. The first couple of picks were kind of easy to predict. Bryce Young went to the Carolina Panthers, which I didn't really like too much. CJ Stroud went to the Texans, number 2. Number 3, I forgot who exactly number 3 was. Number 3. Oh, yeah. The Texans traded back up to get Will Anderson. It was just some crazy stuff happening early in the first round. Bijan Robinson to the Falcons. Again, I just saw that Quentin Johnson just went from TCU, one potentially number one receiver in the draft now, went to the Chargers. They had Jordan Addison just got drafted to the Vikings, like I said, the receivers, Adigba. I forgot exactly where he went. Forgot where he went. But yeah, the draft is pretty interesting this year, man. People are saying it wasn't the best draft ever. There was a lot of quarterbacks. Not Quentin Richard, Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from Florida that everybody was talking about, who had all the intangibles, but was kind of off on his throws and his throwing accuracy wasn't all there. The Colts took a chance on him at number 4. So there's a lot of stuff going down, man. The Eagles took Nolan Smith, who was it? No, I think it was Jalen Carter, who dropped all the way to number 8 due to some of the stuff that was going on with him off the field and the racing incident where somebody died. But man, they just put him on the Eagles with Jordan Davis, Jacoby Dean, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick, whole bunch of guys out there that's going to make that defensive line and that defensive front lethal. I know not 49ers fans, Cowboys fans and Giants fans is kicking themselves right now for having to watch that team that just went to the Super Bowl be even more stacked on defense. So that's kind of crazy. I know the Eagles got a couple of picks, so I wouldn't be surprised if they made some more noise in this draft here. I'm interested to see what the Cowboys get. The Giants are picking right now at number 24. So I'll keep you guys semi-updated on the draft. But round 1 is today or yesterday because I recorded on Thursday. So Friday, when you're listening to this will be round 2. A lot of talent will be taken in round 2 as well. Will Levis hasn't been taken yet. People were projecting him to be a quarterback taking number 1, at least top 10, and he hasn't been taken yet. We're at pick 24. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in round 2, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that because it's actually currently going on. Let's go into some pop culture. This one's interesting to me again because they are trying to pull one over on us again. Tara Davis Woodhall stripped of her national title, long jumping title, due to marijuana use. This is another crazy because we saw this last year with forgot her name. The track star Richardson. I think her last name was Richardson. Was it Richardson? She was out there killing people in the 100 meter, and was stripped of her National Olympics qualification due to her testing positive for marijuana when it's pretty much legal, in America. I guess since it was about to be in another country, you can't really be smoking like that. Maybe that's the case for this one as well. But man, it just seems as though that they can just easily take stuff away from people, well, black people, for stuff so minuscule when it's marijuana. Like, come on now. There's been people that have done way worse, like steroids and stuff, that have been still able to compete. Some people not caught, some people still using it, being able to hide it and stuff like that, but you're still testing for marijuana. Marijuana is not a performance enhancing drug at all. And some people do have, anxiety and some kind of condition that marijuana helps them get ready for the race, but it's not in any shape, way, or form performance enhancing. I don't know. It just seems like they pick and choose when they want to kind of like deem marijuana something that's not that's super vilified. I mean, I remember Michael Phelps was like super known for smoking weed, and he has 100 million gold medals, and nobody's ever tried to take him away from him due to his weed smoking. You know what I'm saying? And these people aren't even putting it on the forefront like Michael Phelps was. Michael Phelps would be in Twitter photos just smoking out of bongs and stuff. These girls are just, out there performing well, and you guys are popping them and trying to discredit them just over marijuana. It's crazy. It's crazy because it's basically decriminalized and made legal in every sport now. Yet you guys want to just test these athletes, these prominent black female athletes who I know what it is. You don't like they look out there. They got the nails, they got the makeup on, they looking pretty. People don't like that. And it's another Angel Reese situation. It's all over again, and it's just showing, man. Because again, it's just crazy how they pick and choose who to vilify over marijuana. Like, didn't we have some girl in the Olympics, some Russian girl, get tested positive for some kind of like banned substance, and just said it was from some kind of burrito, and they let her slide from it. She ate some meat that contained, the ingredients to the banned substance, and they just let it pass like it was nothing. But yeah, you don't let nobody smoke a little bit of weed. That should make it harder for you to perform in these sports, to run 100 meters, to jump, to win the triple jump. It's interesting. It's really interesting to me. I don't know. And I think it's selective rage, and they're just trying to make it easier for them to actually win in the competition because they can't beat them. So they're gonna try to take them out some other kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Tara Davis Woodhall. Hopefully you can, appeal that, keep your medals because that's messed up, man. Like, would you ban somebody from the Olympics if they had a little alcohol in their system? You know what I'm saying? After drinking the night before or something, because you can get tested positive for marijuana up to 30 days, after you smoke once for recreational use. So you don't know when she was smoking. She could have smoked way long ago and just stopped smoking really recently, yet it's still in her system and they're gonna try to ban her for that. That's just crazy to me. Um, Moving on. Man, this one's kind of weird. Desiigner airplane incident. Desiigner, the rapper, Panda Panda Panda, recently was on an airplane where he exposed himself masturbating on an airplane, and he, was just going crazy. And as he got up, dropped Vaseline out of his chair. And I don't know if he was detained, but he has since recently checked himself into a mental facility, claiming that mental health is real and people go through it and make mistakes based on mental health. I don't know. People are saying he might have been on mental health drugs or some antidepressants or something like that made him do that. But I don't know, man. That's just a wild thing to actually to see. I don't know. It just kind of brings up a topic to me about celebrity and how celebrities kind of fight to keep that celebrity and how hard it is to be a normal person after you become that celebrity. Just a bunch of stuff that will definitely cause mental health problems for those type of people. And it's been that for years. People talk about child stars, how they grow up under so much pressure that when they get older, them going crazy is kind of like, just something regular. And people don't really necessarily what's the word? Attribute it to mental health issues. They just kind of just deem off, oh, this person is super rich when they're young. They should be able to handle it. They just got into drugs and are dumb now for just being that way. And it's like, nah, man. I know, everything looks glitz and glam to the outside world looking in about celebrities, but I feel like celebrities do have a hard job on top of their job. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they're a celebrity at, I feel like being a celebrity on top of the job you're actually doing is a job in itself. You know what I mean? When it comes to safety and being paranoid about that, or just status, just how you're seen to people, how people think a celebrity of your stature should be acting could add a bunch of pressure to somebody. It's like, man, and people were saying the Panda song that he actually did perform in and that made him popular, he signed off and gave it to Kanye West. So he didn't really make any money off that song either. And it was kind of hard for him to catch a hit after that. So it's a tough situation, man. I've seen a lot of these stars, after making a bunch of money all at once, over time, them just kind of like losing themselves or feeling like they're not really what they once were. So it takes them in a downward spiral as far as mental health goes. And I feel like that is troublesome. Though they're celebrities and can seek out help, maybe all the time they don't really realize what's going on, or maybe they're embarrassed to try to seek out that help. I feel like rather than embarrassing these stars and trying to make a mockery out of them, we should support them going to try to get help. And there's a bunch of jokes I can make about this whole Desiigner thing, but I'm not gonna do it because I do feel strongly about this mental health type of thing. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stuff that is resulting from negative mental health, and the more we can categorize it and see it for what it is, the less we'll put negative connotations on it, the less we'll make fun of people and give them the benefit of the doubt of knowing that there's something wrong and trying to find help for them, not just making fun of them or deeming them crazy and just pushing them to the side. Because I know a lot of people are. I mean, they're saying like, oh, Desiigner who? The guy that sings Timmy Turner? Though, you got 2 songs in one hit wonder type thing, but that's society right now, and that alone could break people. People just throw celebrities to the side just because they're not making the hits that they want in the time that they want it, or they're not, making an album, dropping an album every summer. People think that, oh, this person's broke, he's not doing nothing, he has nothing going for himself, herself. But no, this person is still somebody of stature. They could have money in investments, they could have businesses. Just because they're not making your favorite song anymore doesn't mean the pressure of, Twitter's a crazy place, social media is a crazy place. So if you go down that rabbit hole alone as anybody, you can just get swallowed up. But yeah, man, again, just because these people are celebrities don't mean they don't need help mental health wise. Even if they look the best in the world, the most confident in the world, I don't know. I can imagine being or having as much fame or money as some of these people, and I know that can cause all kind of troubles. Not even just from daily frustrations, just being like, damn, just being somebody trying to be a regular person is just out the window. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine not being able to walk down the street and go to the grocery store, go to the mall, go Funko Pop hunting and nothing like that. It's crazy. And shouts out to Desiigner. I'm glad he's getting help. I heard about a situation with him with somebody I knew out there in LA. Was supposed to do a show for him, didn't show up. And this kind of shows why. He's going through some things, and put yourself first, dog. If you need to, check yourself into a mental health facility, get yourself better. You ain't got to tell the public and let them know what's going on. You're apologetic for what you did, but do this for you. Don't do it for the people. Don't do it for your celebrity. Just do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Prayers out to Desiigner. Let's get into the cinema corner. Let's just pop through this real quick. I got a couple of things I want to talk about, and it'll get you out of here on this Friday. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a little sip of the water. The Bills ain't taking Will Levis, so stop showing them. Cinema corner. Let's get right into it. Fantastic Four rumors. All right, we got a couple of people supposedly rumored to have been in the runnings or casted for a couple of the main, Fantastic Four members, Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Firstly, we have a rumor that Adam Driver is actually going to play Reed Richards. You know him most recently from Star Wars. He was Kylo Ren. He's in a bunch of other stuff too. He has a crazy voice, and he has like a, his face. You know his face. But sorry, audio listeners, I was doing a little something in the video, kind of like trying to make a straight ass face and super serious. But they're thinking about him for Reed Richards, which I don't mind. A lot of people saying they don't mind him as a Reed Richards. Sorry, I just saw Dalton Kincaid be drafted to the Bills. Dope tight end from Utah. He was really good actually. But yeah, they need a tight end over there. I don't even know who their tight end is over there on the Bills. But yeah, Adam Driver, I think he'll be good. It just kind of depends who they put next to him. He got a long, lanky body. So pause. So I think he'll be able to be a good Reed Richards, and he stretches and shit anyways. The people that they have for Sue Storm, though, Jodie Comer, she was most recently in Free Guy. We have Vanessa Kirby. She was in The Crown, the most recent Mission Impossible. Then we have Mila Kunis as well. If anybody, I think out of those three, I would say Vanessa Kirby, just because I've seen her in a couple of action flicks, and I think she can get down as far as the Marvel and the action scenes should go. And I've seen them blonde before. I would say that. Her and Jodie Comer. I've never seen Mila Kunis play a blonde character, or I don't know. She seems like a Sue Storm to me. And I haven't really seen her in a lot of action stuff either. So I think Vanessa Kirby should be the Sue Storm. But man, I'm excited for Fantastic Four. People are saying maybe Adam Driver should be Doctor Doom. But yeah, they can get somebody for Doctor Doom, man. I think they should just work on getting these Fantastic Four characters together. Maybe a Silver Surfer as well. Just some more connective tissue to go with these young Avengers. That's going to be the next kind of couple phases of the MCU, especially with the whole Jonathan Majors news. We don't know how that's going to go. Because they didn't say they're going to replace him yet, but they said they have a couple of names, and they've been looking around just in case the Jonathan Major stuff gets really bad. So yeah, it should be interesting. I'm excited to see Fantastic Four. I know that and X-Men aren't really on the docket until like 2024, 2025 and beyond. But man, I'm still waiting for that X-Men 95 to come out for Disney Plus, man. I'm trying to get back into that. Maybe I should catch up first, but yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see some more news. Stay close. I'll get you guys updated every time I get some news on the Fantastic Four stuff. But it is heating up. At least we know it's in the works, and we know Emily Blunt and John Krasinski aren't going to be the characters that like everybody kind of like hypothesized. But yeah, it's in the works. Let's talk about some trailers that came out. Equalizer 3 just dropped. Man, Denzel's still out there killing people. After the last one, the CIA or whatever he worked for killed his homie, and he got revenge for that and kind of fled the country. So now he's in Italy, it looks like, in the whole trailer, and he gets in good with the town and stuff like that. And then the mafia in the town messes with a family that he's close with, and you know how that brings him into the situations. Anybody he's close to, and you guys mess with anybody he gets close to, he's gonna take 100 of your men. So that's what it looks like. The mafia gets entangled with a family that he's close to in the town, locals. They kidnap the wife and like a mom and a daughter, and he just goes around killing everybody brutally. I, you in the trailer, there's a scene with this fool. There's an axe, like a cleaver axe, in somebody's head. He's doing his little counting thing. This fool takes a magnum, pointed at his head, twists it around, and pushes it in the guy's eye socket. Man, check it out if you haven't checked it out. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see Denzel still out there doing his thing. Shoot, he's probably in his 60s, 70s now. So these old guys are still out here rocking. Harrison Ford still out here doing his thing. Keanu out here. I don't know why I call him Keanu in that age bracket, but he's like in his upper 50s. So, and Tom Cruise, for these guys to still be out here trying to do work and be in these movies and still doing their thing is really, really impressive. Really, really impressive. I'm excited to see that. White Man Can't Jump. This trailer I was kind of iffy about. It's giving me house party vibes. Sometimes you don't have to remake everything. I get it. Basketball is really popular. I get it. Jack Harlow's popular and he plays in the All-Star games and stuff. But I don't know if these two actors are the right ones for this remake, this movie remake. And it kind of seems a little more convoluted than the actual movie that we saw back in the day. I don't know. I saw Jack Harlow play basketball in real life, and I don't know. Maybe the cinema make it look better. But he's playing the ringer that Woody Harrelson played. You know, the unassuming white guy who comes to the court and acts like he can't play just to hustle the people that actually gets on the court and plays. But I don't know. Jack Harlow looks like he could be a good up and coming actor, but the whole movie premise trying to be copy the first one, I don't think it's gonna be as good as everybody thinks. I'll check it out though. Probably still just support, but I don't know. I just hope it's not stupid like House Party was. Sorry, LeBron, but that movie wasn't it. And I'm hoping that, you know, this one could be a little bit better, but I probably won't even go to the theaters to see it, you know. So I'm behind on a lot of movies, but it looks cool. It looks funny in parts. They're going around hustling people. Just kind of like him dressing in different nerdy outfits, like white boy outfits to make him seem unassuming at hood courts, and going out there and picking him up as a partner. You know how the movie goes, and them winning money and like that. I don't know. Yeah, and this the scene from the movie. So I'm going to the car and get my gun. Remember it from the old school one, and then in the previews in this one, this guy brings out a flamethrower. I'm like, please don't ruin this. But yeah, Black Mirror season 6 trailer. Whew. This is what we need right now, man. In the age of AI, in the age of all this technological advances and all this future stuff that we're kind of getting ready for, I feel like we need Black Mirror back, because Black Mirror kind of let us know kind of back in the day, not really back in the day, there's 6 seasons now, but as they were coming out, kind of showing us how some of this technological advances and the stuff that we're trying to do in the future can go wrong. And I think we can we have a lot of a lot of space for that right now, with the AI and all the shit that it's doing, creating movie scripts. I talked about it in depth last episode, but it's like, man, we're gonna see a lot of shit, because there's shit that you only thought of in your head privately after smoking and shit that appeared in a Black Mirror episode. Like, damn, how did they know that I was thinking about that? You know what I mean? But Black Mirror, let me see. There's a whole bunch of actors and actresses that are going to be in this movie or this series that I thought was really interesting. To list a few: Aaron Paul, Anya Vasan, Anne Murphy, Ben Barnes, Daniel Portman, Danny Ramirez, Himesh Patel, John Hannon, Josh Hartnett, Kate Mara, Michael Cera, Mahala Harold, Papa Esito, Rob Delaney, Rory Culkin, Salma Hayek, Pinsol, and Zazie Beetz. I like Zazie Beetz. But yeah, great cast, a great hope. You know how good the episodes are. They put random stars in each to get your attention, and sometimes up and coming stars. You know what I'm saying? I think my first Daniel Kaluuya experience was on Black Mirror. So, there's an Anthony Mackie episode. I'm not saying it was his start, but a lot of prominent actors are in these Black Mirror episodes. And not only do they have good actors in there to keep our interest, the premises of these shows, and each episode is crazy. They'll have like 10 to 12 episode seasons. So you can see all the actors. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of episodes, but I'm excited for that. Yeah, Black Mirror has always been one of my favorites. It's just so real, and it's so relatable, and it just kind of touches on our technological fears that could happen if we go too far, and we need that right now. I'm telling you. Excuse me. It's crazy out there, and technology is coming for us. And if I know it was said by a whole bunch of conspiracy theorists back in the day, but again, with this AI coming out, taking over everything, it could just take over the jobs of all humans, so destroy all humans. So we gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens for sure. Super Mario movie. I keep touching in on it, and I haven't seen the movie yet, which is irresponsible of me not to have seen it yet. But it has grossed over $900 million worldwide already. It just kind of goes to show the Nintendo impact across the world. I said this last time as well. It's like, man, the actors did their thing. Jack Black, I know Seth Rogen, Keegan Michael Key. Gosh, I know Chris Pratt is in it. They're doing their thing, man. It just kind of brings back the nostalgia of the characters, kind of gives more of an introspective view to the younger people, and it has that adult humor, kind of Shrek, type of humor in it as well. Just the way, just the character voices are just epic. To have Seth Rogen be Donkey Kong, Jack Black be Bowser, you know what I'm saying? Just iconic people being in the movie. And again, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe again, I'll just go to the movies on Saturday and actually just see that, just so I can say I've seen it and contribute, and because the movie looks like it's doing great. It definitely is doing great. I don't know how much the budget was to make it, but I'm sure it made all its money back, and they're getting ready to make a TV show, another movie, Luigi's Mansion, any kind of shit just to go along with it, because they opened up Pandora's box with giving them $900 million. Man, they're gonna go out the woo-ha. So I don't know what kind of who brings the Nintendo movies, like what company. I know it's Nintendo, but I don't know if they're with a TV production, a movie production company that puts out their stuff. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see, because shoot, Disney, man, somebody should buy that up if they selling. Just add that to your catalog. I know it's going crazy already at Universal Studios. So Japan, they have a Mario World where you can drive Mario Karts. Like, it's just going down. Mario, people have been sleeping on Mario, and I feel like now people are actually starting to realize how, great of a character Mario and the whole Mario family is. It's been excluded being on Nintendo and stuff, and Nintendo exclusives, and never made the big systems. Doesn't really have TV shows or nothing like that, just mostly toys and video games. But I think this expansion is going to be really good for Nintendo. It's going to be really good for Mario and company. Just bring a lot of eyes and just elevate something that's already been a great brand for so long. You know what I mean? Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out next week, May 5th. Really excited for this as more and more previews come out for it. And more I'm feeling like somebody's going to die. I was talking to Damo on a previous episode about what I expected, but yeah, a lot of people are going to die in this. James Gunn's last Guardians of the Galaxy is his franchise. I don't think he's going to let nobody take over it by keeping the characters alive. I feel like, of course, again, Drax is going to die because he doesn't want to be on the show anymore. He's stated that plenty of times. Mantis, Nebula, a lot of these characters are throwawayable. I know they're very memorable when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy, but I feel like they don't need to cross over into the bigger schemes of the next phases of the MCU. You know what I'm saying? The characters ran their course. They did their thing for the last couple of phases, but I think they can gracefully just kind of move out of these characters. Maybe Groot can survive and do his standalone thing. I don't know. There's rumors of Chris Pratt going over to join James Gunn and be a character for him over there in DCU. So I don't know. I think this might be the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy as we know it. It's gonna be fun. Has that James Gunn spin on it. I heard there was an F-bomb in there because in PG-13 movies you get one F-bomb, so you get the first F-bomb in a Marvel PG-13 movie. So I think that's gonna be dope as well. I don't know, just the little stuff they've revealed and just how it looks, man. I like the space exploration that the Guardians of the Galaxy be doing. There's a whole different spin on that. The colors, Adam Warlock coming in, the Grand Inquisitor, showing how he was testing on animals, trying to make supreme beings, and how Rocket was created. Seeing Groot grow up and actually being like almost an adult now. We're gonna see. I saw Nebula's arm turn into a cannon. I've never seen her do that. So you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be dope. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, so it's a long run time. So it's gonna give us that long experience. Two end credit scenes as well. Hopefully you still got Jonathan Majors in it and they didn't cut nothing. But it's gonna be a long movie. It's gonna be tearjerker for sure, because again, I feel like people are gonna die. But ultimately, I think it's gonna probably be the best movie that's come out thus far. In my opinion, people are saying it's the best MCU movie that have seen it already. That got their little sneak preview. Are saying it's one of the best movies since Avengers Endgame. So we gonna see. I'm excited to see it. I ain't got my tickets yet, but I'm gonna see it on a Sunday. The Flash movie has been getting spoiled a lot because I guess they let people at CinemaCon actually get an early screening of it, and they're giving all kind of reviews and putting clips on Twitter. So if you're excited for that, comes out June 16th, so right around the corner as well. I'm excited for that one as well, but I'll talk more about that as it gets closer. But stay off of Twitter because you'll get spoiled from those guys too doing that kind of shit. But what I'm watching right now, I don't really have shows to review right now because we're kind of the ones that I'm watching. I'm kind of in the middle. But if you do want to start watching something, you need some shows to watch. What I'm watching right now, if you're interested in Barry, if you haven't seen Barry, Barry's a dope show. It's in season 3 right now. A comedy about this assassin. I forgot the dude's name, but he's in a lot of the Seth Rogen movies. Shoot, I wish I remembered the actor's name. But if you're up on Barry, you already know what's good. Season 3 is dope. It's a little slow actually this season, but the seasons leading up to are pretty funny and are pretty interesting. It's on HBO Max. Titans, if you're interested in that kind of thing. DC, I don't know, this is probably DCEU still. Titans came back after stopping abruptly for no reason. Doom Patrol got canceled, and Titans just stopped for hella long at episode 8. Like, and then it just kind of came back on out of nowhere, saying it's the final season and the final episodes have come out. And it's been 3 episodes so far, and they're actually mixing with the Doom Patrol on the episode. So it's interesting. I'm excited because Beast Boy is actually becoming Beast Boy. There's like a couple of seasons of Titans now, 3 seasons probably at this point, and Beast Boy has never turned into anything but a tiger. You know what I'm saying? And Beast Boy in the cartoon turned into all kind of shit at will, and for him to actually be able to do that now in this season and actually be able to, well, not in this season, well, this part of the season, and actually be able to turn green and turn into any animal he wants, that's pretty tight. And for him to be with Cyborg from Doom Patrol and actually kind of see a little bit hitting at that relationship that they have in the new cartoon Teen Titans Go. Looks pretty tight as well. Of course, I'm watching Power Book 2 Ghosts with Tyreek in them, season 3. A lot of stuff's happening there. I'm not gonna get into that yet because if you haven't seen it yet, there's a lot of shit that you got to catch up on, especially if you watch Power Book 2. I know a lot of people watch Power, but haven't really gotten into the Tyreek one because they weren't really fans of Tyreek. Who just got drafted? Oh, it's a tackle. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's a cool show. I mean, it gets a little corny at times. Mary J. Blige isn't always the best actress, but she's doing her thing. She's been holding it down for 3 seasons, and Method Man is in it, and he's doing well. But Mary, yeah, her range isn't there all the time. But yeah, it can get a little corny. But if you do enjoy Power, you watch Raising Kanan, you watch BMF, this will be something interesting to watch as well. I know you probably watched the Tommy series, but a lot of people said they skipped over this because they didn't like Tyreek in the whole Power series and how he just kind of messed stuff up and how his attitude was kind of fucked up as well. So I understand if you don't watch that. And then lastly, I've been telling you guys about Rabbit Hole on Paramount Plus. It's another one of those government conspiracy shows with Brett from 24. His name is definitely man. His name is right on the tip of my tongue, so I gotta look this one up. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna let this one go by the wayside. Rabbit Hole. Kiefer Sutherland. Yes. Kiefer Sutherland from 24. He's in this show. He works for this company that handles stuff for people, kind of an inside man, and they kind of like mess him over and try to frame him for stuff that's going on from the CIA. It gets kind of deep. I'm not going to go too far into it, but if you are interested, that's on Paramount Plus. Power Book 2 Ghosts, that's on Stars. Titans is on HBO Max, and Barry season 3 is on HBO Max as well. Check it out, man. Rabbit Hole is really good. If you like that kind of stuff, if you like Night Agent on Netflix, this is kind of down that hole. If you like 24, I think it was on Fox, then you'll like this as well. Keith Sutherland doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that was the podcast for today. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. I know you guys loved it. I'm just playing with y'all and you wasn't bored. But I just went through those topics kind of smoothly, though. You know what I'm saying? We got that basketball playoffs, the NFL talk, a couple pop culture topics in Cinema Corner. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what I mean? You know where to find me at. Let me let you guys know, even though if you don't, new listeners, you can always find your boy SAC_Lydell, Patrick, SAC_Lydell on Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat, Patrick Washington, I guess, if you want to know my government, on Twitter. Anything Best of Bias, just type it in. We have a website up there as well as a, it'll direct you to our Best of Bias YouTube as well. We out there, a whole bunch of videos on there, 100 plus videos, courtesy of AKA. I'm just now starting to get these timestamps out here, so it'll be easy for you guys to shuffle through topics, and you don't have to watch the whole thing. I encourage you to, because this podcast is, the hottest podcast of the summer and all that. But if you want to skip topics, I got the little timestamps down there, so you can fast forward and go to the stuff you're interested in hearing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some guests on next week. I'm gonna see if Chelsea or Damo or somebody want to get on here and talk with me for a while and just shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had a guest on in about 3 episodes now, so I want to continue to, keep it diverse and keep the topics flowing and get stuff that people want to talk about in here as well. Again, I'm gonna start working from home as of tomorrow, so I'm gonna be able to get a lot more content out. I'm gonna be a lot by my computer, a lot more ideas will be flowing, and I have a lot more access to you guys. But merch, you know what I got: bucket hats, dad hats, trucker hats, beanies, t-shirts, all that stuff can be found. You already know I got every color. New designs coming out real soon, probably within the next month here. For the summertime, I got some cool tie-dye stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be live. It's going to be live. Stick with us. Come back every episode. Every Friday, we out here dropping the knowledge for y'all. I'm always here for y'all. Y'all know that. AKA coming back, soon. A lot of this fighting stuff going on. Shakur Stevenson wants to fight Tank. So I'm saying I got to talk a lot of MMA and mixed martial arts stuff, especially with this Jake Paul and Nate Diaz fight coming up, and Nate Diaz beating up Chase, whatever that dude's name is, Radafalakalapalao. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff to talk about, plenty more. The topics and the content never stops here in the Best of Bias podcast. Again, hit me up for the merch anywhere you can find me, all those places I talked about. And if you're looking for the audio for the podcast and you just don't want to wait for the YouTube, of course, it's anywhere you find your favorite podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Anchor, of course. And of course, you can find us on the YouTube. So just type it in the internet, in the URL, Best of Bias podcast. And I'm sure you'll see Growly. I'm sure you'll see me in some of my timestamp videos, because you know what I'm saying? It's always elevation for y'all. But it's your boy Lydell Dinero. Hope your playoff teams do good if you're watching the NBA. Hope your team drafted somebody good in this draft over the weekend if you're an NFL fan. And if you're just a life fan, I hope you're happy out there. You know what I'm saying? Hug somebody this weekend. It's going to be hot. Go get in the pool or something. Maybe go to a beach, enjoy your loved ones. But it's the Best of Bias podcast. Where that theme song at? And I'm out of here. Let's go Tampa Bay. Yeah. It's the best of Bias. You need the earful. You should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of Bias. The Best of Bias. Yeah. It's the Best of